Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of What's Happening Horse Games, where we just chat about horse games basically and all the drama and stuff that's happening behind it. Now, the background today is Night Soil, which is a little horse game from an indie game developer, Mischief Mayhem, I believe. You can go and check that out. If you haven't already, I did make a review on it. Mostly I just really love the horse. But yeah, if you haven't checked it out, please do. It is a really cute game and I just absolutely fell in love with the horse. But let's get into it because we actually do have a lot to cover today. So yeah, let's just dive right into some horse gaming news. So to start off, we are going to be chatting about the Tackroom. Now, for those of you who might not know, the Tackroom is a Redem server, which is a Reddit redemption server, which is focused on horses. In March, there was a huge meltdown where, I believe it was on the 3rd of March or the 2nd of March, basically where it turned out that they were using a lot of AI, that they were bad-mouthing players behind the scenes, they weren't paying their developers, or they hadn't paid one of the developers in particular, and it exploded. Like, there was a 24-hour riot in that Discord, so it was nuts. Now, I want to touch on two things that I didn't touch on in my video because so much was happening, I didn't get to everything. This in particular has to do with the fact that when one of the moderators left due to being poorly treated, they quote-unquote nuked the Discord. Now, this narrative has been sort of spreading everywhere, and everyone has been saying, oh, the Discord was nuked. Now, that is not entirely true, as we will see. The person who supposedly nuked the Discord, I will not be giving you their name, basically says the following: I did not delete all the Discord channels, nor did I just delete the border role. I'm genuinely unsure where the narrative that I just deleted the major whitelist role came from. But alas, here we are. The majority of channels I deleted were to cause an inconvenience, such as logs for deleted messages, banned members, the entire whitelist area, bug reports, and a few more that fell victim to my antics. To be clear, the general chat and everything is still there. A lot of it has just been archived. So that's basically what's going on. Now, she does also answer the question about why. Why did she decide to delete all those channels? And as she says, quite frankly, after being on manual staff hiatus without any communication that I was going to be placed on one from my fellow staff members because it was assumed I was leaking sensitive information, I was pissed. I had been a bit more MIA since the group chat debacle, since I was directly involved, but also informed the staff of my availability, changing around January, February. To be clear, she had been pregnant for 9 months. So just to kind of give you some context there. So she was pretty upset by the way that she was treated, and she kind of clapped back by deleting the Discord channels. It does sound like the deletion that she did wasn't as damaging, it was more just inconvenience. So that is a good thing, because I had actually been under the impression she just freaking nuked a lot of stuff. So this is a little bit more contained than I thought it was, which is good, because if it had been anything else, I think everyone would have had a right to be very furious at this moderator. But moving on to the next little section that I just want to briefly touch on is there was a sort of thing that was going around that the moderators were claiming they weren't deleting people, banning people out of principle. Here they say the statement being referenced was never made. No one is predetermining bans. So no one is deciding beforehand who they're going to ban and then banning them. This is what one of the moderators said recently. And then it came out, some of the screenshots, where Sass directly says, so my plan is radical, I know that, and it's why I'm open to your guys' feedback on it. Shroom, Della, that whole group is going to be banned, sharing screenshots or not. So that is a predetermined ban. Then we have another example of this where says, where one of the mods asks, can we start banning? And Sass says, honestly, just ban. No more whitelist. I'll post a thing tonight saying anyone here for drama, harassment, and continued disrespect have been removed from this community. No ticket, no answer. I can confirm that. I have not received any sort of answer for why I was banned. There's a word for that. Wait, mischief? Causing mischief, I think, was a reason for people getting arrested at one stage. So here we have another person asking permission to keep banning. It's the people that are sending links, and Sass just says, please do. Sass, to be clear, is the owner of the Discord. So yes, just to kind of cover that real quickly, because some misinformation has been shared, and I just thought it was fair to sort of just cover that. Yes, they did have predetermined bans. No, the person who, quote-unquote, nuked the Discord did not nuke the Discord. They nuked specific parts of the Discord to cause inconvenience for the moderators. Whether you agree with that or not, that is what happened. And yeah, with that out of the way, we can get into the next story. This is a topic I have been meaning to discuss for a good minute now. So, for those of you who don't know, Star Stable has a Trailblazer. And the Trailblazer is basically a battle pass. It's kind of like that, but it's a free battle pass. You sort of get it if you have Star Rider, right? Great, very nice. Now, the way that it used to work was you could basically just grind infinitely for it, but you got less and less and less points as the day went on. So you started with every daily or task you completed, you would get 100. You would get 100 points. And for accumulation to the next prize that you could get or a reward you would get, you essentially could infinitely grind. You would get 1.1 point per little firefly you collected and stuff. It was really nice because it meant that there was a consistent grind in the game, and that is kind of nice in a way that it sort of just meant I could sit down for a couple of hours, grind, and get my rewards. So that was quite nice. It put the control into the player's hands. Now they changed it about a month ago now. And basically here are what they call improvements. So as they say, the biggest change is that your first 4 activities every day will give you 120 points. So that's very nice, which was more than just the 100. You still get the same amount of points for activities 5 to 12. So you only get 80 points extra, basically. So yeah, nice, I suppose. And then it will drop to 0. Regular and bonus day gatherables also no longer earn points. So even if I go and I ride around and I pick up all the little things that I want to pick up, not going to matter. I'm not going to get any points for it. And well, I'm going to tell you why. Now, they say less is more. Instead of 35 milestones, we have 25. And the main reason for that is they're sort of removing all the fluff, which is a good change. That is a really, really nice change. They also make it clear that all the items that you unlock is still the same. So basically, you still get a full tack set, which is kind of peculiar because some of the Trailblazer didn't actually give you a full set sometimes, if I remember correctly, actually. She says that it will take 16 days to complete the Trailblazer tack because you're going to have to log in every day now because at one point you're not doing it out the day. You won't be able to collect any more points, and that is sort of the entire update. So let's go over this update because it players over so badly. Having games that grind is not something that I enjoy, but it offers control to the player. So, when I'm playing, I can decide to keep playing in order to get what I want to get, right? That's very nice. Unfortunately, they decided, no, you're not going to be able to do that anymore because we want you to log in every day. Now, why do they want you to log in every day? This is sort of the interesting part, because what they're doing specifically is they want you to log in every day to not... it's not just for shareholders, for the login to look good. That is part of it. The main reason is they want you to build a habit. That's all it's about. What they want you to do is to make Star Stable part of your daily routine. Because if they can do that, it becomes part of your life. And that's very important. So none of this is done for the player. It is done to make you basically make Star Stable a habit for you. That's all they're doing. Which is extremely annoying because I don't want a habit. Star Equestrian does this, and I fell into that trap because I had to grind these dailies every day. And the reason why it happened to me was because I'm working on this huge video that I'm working on Star Equestrian for. And it has been coming for like 3 years. And the reason why I don't finish it is because they make a freaking update every week, and I'm tired of it. But the point is that it's a very frustrating sort of thing because I find myself wasting morning minutes or even sometimes an hour just running around in this really redundant space because I have to get my dailies. And now imagine, as a reviewer, I have to do this with Star Stable, with Star Equestrian, with Equestrian the game at one point, with all of these games that demand of me to log in every day just in order to make the frickin' log-in dailies for the shareholders look good. No. Anyway, sorry, that's just my frustration. But yeah, the players started to boycott eventually. They basically said they're not going to do the Trailblazer. They're tired of this because this does really screw us over. Like, it's very difficult to not look at this and see it as a frustration. It's because it wants you to log in every day to get you to build a habit so that they can make it look good for their shareholders. You do not matter. The numbers matter. You are a number. And that's why people are angry. Because the previous version was really nice. It's, you could grind. It was exhausting, but I liked it because I found my flow in that game. I was like, oh yeah, I'm sort of enjoying this. I'm putting on some true crime drama and I'm listening to people getting murdered while I'm picking up little fireflies. It's delightful. And now I can't do that anymore. I actually have not played Star Stable since that change, I'm going to be quite honest. Just because, not because I was boycotting, but just because I didn't want to. I just didn't want to go in and just be limited because I felt like I was being punished. And I don't want to be punished. I just want to have a fun game. And then I went and played other games that are not online, that don't expect me to log in every day. And you know what I had? Fun. And I liked it. Sorry. Now, very interesting, some players actually do mention that it is their daily logins is for their mental health, which is perfectly fine. That's great, that's lovely. I'm very happy that you're enjoying that. The thing is, not all of us have that. Not all of us have the time for this. Not all of us actually can do this. A lot of us play over the weekends. A lot of us play at times where we do have time because we have full-time jobs. That's sort of the thing. And it's nice that you guys are having fun, but the thing is, the previous version allowed for both. This one is allowing for only one to exist, which is the daily login. And that is the frustration. Now, I can already hear what people are going to say. Oh, but you only have to log in 16 days of the month. And if I accidentally forget and I only log in 15 days, well, screw me, I can't get the full reward. That is the frustrating part. It locks you in, it restricts you. One of the posts, for example, mentions that this took way too long. Now, it says here, before you say about the boycott, I've already emailed with my complaints, but that was a slog. Not time-wise, if you do stable chores, it's only about 10 to 15 minutes per day, but that's with daily logins. I reckon this will be the most unfinished Trailblazer to date. I actually agree with that, because I didn't bother. I think a lot of people forget or they get busy, and they're not going to get to it. So I'm curious to see what Star Stable is going to do, because to be fair, they're taking feedback at this point, right? Why did I close that tab? I should not have closed that tab. So that's good. Like they are trying to sort of see what the reaction is. But the thing is, what we have to sort of understand is that it's not really about what we're saying, it's about what we're doing. So if players still logged in every day, and a lot of them still finish the Trailblazer, that's good. And the other thing that we also have to keep in mind, it does sort of push people into buying the items. Because if you think about it, if more people are going to miss out on the Trailblazer, that could potentially push in the FOMO. And that's going to cause people to want to buy the items later because they missed it because they couldn't log in every day. I am so sick of online games. I'm so sick of this mental psychological manipulation every time I freaking open one of these things. But yeah, that is the Star Stable situation. I'm going to leave this until they do make their changes or not make their changes. So I'm going to see what they do with the next Trailblazer. If they did take up any of the comments, or if they are listening, maybe they surprise us and they do stick to what they were supposed to. Like they do make some changes that allow for grinding. That would be very nice, because I prefer just that grind. And I prefer not to grind if I had the option, but it is something at least to do in the game. And I was actually more in the game than before. I'm going to be quite frank. Now it's stressful. Now it's just so stressful. I don't want to go into the game anymore. But yeah, that is the Star Stable situation. Let's move on to the next one. So there is a new game. The people who made this game also made this game. And I don't know what to do with that. Now, they did let me know that this is back to stables. is a little game where you kind of guide a horse back to its home, basically. It sounds kind of interesting. It feels like such a whiplash. I mean, if you look at this, and then you look at this, it feels like from a different company, I'm not gonna lie. But it's different and interesting. I'm curious to see what it is. I just want to let people know you can go and wishlist it if you want. So yeah, I'm gonna check it out. If even just for a little let's play, or maybe just a playthrough. Maybe I can do another 3 little horse game video. I don't know if you guys enjoyed that, like 3 horsey games basically. If you guys like that, please let me know and I'll do another one of these with Back to the Stables as one of them. Fernhoof Grove is on Steam. Yeah, that is actually it. I forgot to mention this. But it is now on Steam. You can go and wishlist it. It is not available to play as of yet, but it looks amazing, and you guys can go and like it and love it on Steam. Please do so and give her lots of wishlists and make sure that this game gets a lot of attention and love, because good horse games are rare, and I think this one could be a really good, rare horse game. So the next one that I want to chat about is Noble Steed. I love this. This is really unique and different, and I just love it. I love the style. The horse looks kind of cute. I'm already loving that. And I don't know, it just has a vibe to it that is just very, very nostalgic to me. So let's just replay that real quick. It looks really cute. They do say that the waterfall isn't done yet, so they're still working on that. But we got some combat. We got a pretty horse. I mean, how can I not enjoy this? Absolutely, how can I not enjoy this? I'm curious to see what the type of game will be, but let's take a look at what the developer says about this video, and specifically, they say here, here's a quick video showing how Noble is looking at the moment. I'm now in the stage where the bones of the game are built and everything works. I just, quote-unquote, need to build the world and debug like crazy now. The waterfall is not finished, as they said. Now, this week I've been working on replacing placeholder models with my own, which I've been creating in the wonderful block bench. I've also begun replacing the UI elements with my own, and the font has been updated. I'm aiming to get a Steam page up in the next week or so. I'll be sure to let you guys know when that happens. I haven't done this before, so I'm giving myself at least a month to get all that working, as it's a new learning curve. Yes, this is actually something that I've seen so many times happen when developers decide to make a Steam page. They end up like, oh, this actually takes a lot more than I thought it was going to take. So if you want to release a game on Steam, like, go through the process first and then you give the date, because inevitably you're probably going to give the incorrect date, because you're going to have to move it out, because you still have to go through the process of Steam. Just something to keep in mind. So then it says, then I'm hoping to have version 0.1 available sometime in summer. While 0.1 will be early access, they do say the game's core features will be complete and there will be a solid gameplay loop from the outset. That's good. Now, updates after that will be adding more of the open world on and expanding the story with new bosses to fight and equipment to collect, as well as making improvements to existing features upon and expanding on them. I want to get the coding done first, so I have so much time as possible to polish it and debug every nook and cranny. That is Noble Steed. I'm very curious about this because I love the setting, knights and swords. What do you want from me? And I love the fact that, you know, it looks cute. I think it looks really cute. I'm very curious. Why do I always like the weird games? I'm sorry. I think it's because I just find unique concepts always fun to look at, and I think that unique concepts it always sort of opens the door for different things. And yeah, I'm very curious about this one. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on it. But yeah, let's move on to the next story. So the next game that I really want to talk about is just Paddock Paradise. This is a game that has been announced like 6 months ago, but they did make a new post, which we'll be looking at in a bit. But firstly, just sort of to give you guys an idea of what the game is about, they say here, your horses don't just live in your paddocks, they reshape them with their quirks, fears, friendships, and daily disasters. Balance and match herds with horses of varying personalities, manage resources, and witness the daily antics of your four-legged critics as they test your best-laid plans and patience. The horses are already befriending each other across fences, forming herds, and making me smile. The gameplay revolves around tending to the daily needs of your horses, rotating paddocks, rearranging herds to fit new arrivals into existing dynamics, and tending to the daily little chaos such as tipped water troughs, catching escape artists, and of course, mucking the paddocks. It sounds very simple And I love it because simple is often a very, very good starting point for great games. Now, if you look at what they have been making so far, we can actually look here and we can see it already looks a lot more detailed, a lot more interesting. And I like the I like the movement of the characters. Like, I can feel that bucket. I can feel the weight of it. And it looks cute. It looks interesting. I think this can be a sort of completely different concept. And I love the fact that people are just exploring the different things of horse, you know, of horse life. Like this is part of it, just mucking and getting the herds together. And yeah, that is such a reality. Horses don't always like each other, and you have to sort of split them into different herds because they'll kill each other if you don't. Like, this does happen. And yeah, I think this is really cute. But yeah, if you guys want to go and support them, they do have a Patreon. You can go and check that out. Let me know what you guys think. I think it's a interesting concept. Curious to see where it goes. It's always interesting to see the different sort of styles and ideas people have for horse games, and I love it. I love the fact that we do get these. Oh, look at that! Actually wearing a blanket. The horse is wearing a blanket. How cute is that? That's so cute. Goose. The horse's name is Goose. That has a personality. Oh, I'm loving this. It's so cute, though. Look at this. I will look at this a little bit more when there's more to show. But right now, I think this looks really cute. Well done to the developer. I look forward to seeing what else you do. Right, next one. Okay, so this is an odd one. So it says here, our dark western first-person shooter, Papa Needs a Headshot, just featured at the Future Game Show. What do you think of the mechanical on mechanic? So this was posted on the Games with Horses subreddit. But so if you ignore the first-person shooter, which I actually love. I mean, good grief, there's a... You do have a horse. You do have a horse. You have a lovely horse, and you're shooting the shit out of zombies. I'm loving that. And you have snow. It's interesting. It's interesting. It does have a horse, and I'm just loving the shooting the shit out of everything. It looks like a fun game. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry, I'm giggling because I just really enjoy chaotic games. I'm a Doom girly, but yeah, it looks fun, and I don't know how much the horse actually features in it. Oh wow, I actually missed that part. What the fuck is that though? Is that like Shadow of the Colossus but with cowboys? That would be interesting. But yeah, that is sort of just that. I just really wanted to mention it because Papa Needs a Headshot. Go and support the dev, because this is a weird-ass game, and I always like weird-ass games. Moving on. So, Rival Stars is coming to console. That is a pretty big thing that they have been announcing. Let me just find the... Wait a minute. I'm missing it. Shit. Wait. I'm so well organized. Where is the announcement? Why am I whispering? Fuck. Rival Stars Horse Racing is coming to console, and it is going to be the 28th of April, and they're specifically going to PlayStation and Xbox. So that is pretty awesome. We're getting some Rival Stars fun for Xbox and console. Oh, for console. Now, I am very glad that it is cross-platform and that it is growing into something different. And it is reaching a new audience. That is all very well and good. The thing is, PC development is not the same as console development. Console development is not the same as mobile development, which it's not the same as VR development. What that means is that we technically have a situation where they are basically working on basically 4 games at once. How many updates are the console game? Will it be getting any updates? What does it mean for the PC? Because the PC desktop version has actually been put on pause for a bit, obviously to focus on this update first. I'm curious to see how it's going to, if it is going to, because they have the VR now, they have the mobile. The mobile always gets most of the first updates, then it goes over to desktop. Is console going to be the third one in that? Is VR going to be pushed aside? Or are they just going to be working on all of them, which is just going to strain the company? I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass here. I'm very happy for them. I just hope it doesn't turn into a drop and run situation, right? But we'll see. Like I always tend to, get maybe a little ahead of myself with these things. So let's see what happens I'm hoping that they surprise us and that, you know, all the updates and stuff still happen. I'm nervous. You can't blame me for being nervous. Okay. So next thing on the list is just a brief announcement is Legend of Khiimori. It has been released. It is now currently in early access. It does have a pretty positive review. People aren't too happy with the price tag at this stage. And that does make sense because it is very expensive. It's like, how much is it? Like $30-$60. And it's frustrating because it's about $50, I think, if I remember correctly. And it is frustrating because we are basically playing as their QA testers, right? We're paying to be their beta testers or their QA testers or whatever testers you want to call us. And it's so annoying because I should not be paying you to do these tests. You should be paying me to do them. And they're not doing that. No. They're expecting us to pay them to do it. And it's so frustrating. I get so angry because people have learned to sort of accept it as the norm, and it really shouldn't be the norm because they have sort of sold this idea that being able to play a game early is sort of a privilege. God, that Akal Techie looks terrible, but it's not really. They are taking advantage of you, but I'm giving the game enough space to breathe to ensure that when I do play it, I'm giving it a fair shake. To get most of the bugs out, to make it breathe and have most of the issues sorted before I look at it. Because I'm not in the mood for reviewing and then one day later, a bug gets removed. Yeah. That is Legend of Khiimori. I will say I'm very excited for it. Just because I do like the setting and I love Mongolian history. And I don't know how much of the history is going to be in that. But it looks interesting and I'm very much looking forward to playing it. I'm just giving it enough breathing room so that I don't end up just getting frustrated with it instead of enjoying it. Because I do want to enjoy it. Like, people can tell me what they want, but I do want to enjoy my freaking horse games. I don't go in hating them. I go in wanting to love it. And then when it disappoints me, I have the enviable task of telling people why I didn't enjoy it. So please be good. That looks interesting, actually. What is that? Anyway, that is Legend of Khiimori. Go and look at it if you haven't already. It is available now on Steam. It is still in early access, so don't expect miracles. But yeah, according to the reviews, it is pretty good. But moving on to Equinox Homecoming, it has also been released into early access, which is interesting. I am curious about this game. And I really don't want to play it. Equinox Homecoming is an MMO game that was sort of released last year in very early access. It is now officially, sorry, it's not early access, it's officially released. And they do have the dailies and they do have the horses that you're going to be able to buy, and they're going to be adding a lot more horses that you can pick up. And it's sort of that whole shtick of, come in every month and you can get some new horses and you can get some new stuff. I'm so exhausted from this style of development. I'm so sick of it because every single horse game just abuses the fact that there are a lot of horse breeds instead of, like, okay, look at this, right? This horse, no, screw this. This horse is the first horse you get. This horse has a story. This horse is a difficult animal, and you walk in and you are going to tame this animal. Look at that. This is my horse. This is the one that I created. This is my horse. And then they tell you, no, you want other horses. You want to buy other horses because this horse kind of sucks. So there we go. Now I can go buy another horse. Screw the horse I built a bond with. Screw the horse I created. Screw the horse I put time in. This is your horse. This is why I play games like this. This is why I play games like this. Because this little horsey right here, this boy, this delightful little animal, he matters. He's my boy. He's my little boy. I love old boy. He's my darling. I don't want to play a game where the horse is so secondary, and I'm quoting someone, I can't remember who said this, but if you replace the horses with bicycles, it would not make a difference. Okay, I'm done. But yeah, this is Equinox. In case you can't tell, I'm not all that keen on it, but maybe it surprises me. At least it's not $60. It looks very pretty. That's really all I can say for it. And okay, no, I can say something else. It does have a pretty cool sort of story and mystery and dark thing going on. That's pretty cool. Some things I do like, other things I really don't. I've said, I really want, it looks cool. I want the game to surprise me. I want the game to be good. I want to see like better things coming out of this. And it's nice to see horse games tackling something darker, tackling something bigger. That's really good. I'm just not feeling why there needs to be horses in this. That's literally it. Why are there horses? But yeah, maybe the story will make sense eventually. But yeah, let's move on to the next story. I think I ranted long enough. Ooh, I'm gonna get some hate in the comments. Alright, so this is one that I should have covered earlier and I just didn't get around to it. I'm very sad and angry at myself. So this is a game, Horses of Gavarnia? Gavarn. Alright, make it real, then make it better. This trailer showcases our vision for the game, since we are in early development. So this was a Kickstarter that was launched for Horses of Gavarn. I don't know how to pronounce it. And I do love the style. That's firstly the thing that I love about it. It is a unique style that has a unique flair to it. We're going to get into something that it sounds really cool for this game. The game has a very interesting vibe to it. I'm sorry, I'm sort of getting pulled in again. I've been watched this trailer a few times now. It's really cool. Oh, they're getting some horsey sounds. I forgot actually about that part. I forget like 3 seconds after I watch something. I'm terrible. And you get unicorns, of course. There are some things that I really liked. Horses of Gavarnia is a 3D narrative adventure about raising horses in rustic Pyrenees. You manage a ranch, build a community, and guide both humans and horses through a changing world where you pair horses up with their forever homes. That's very cool. Breed horses for villagers and yourself to match them with the right horse for their needs, helping the community thrive. Now we see this here. Here we see, Ezekiel, a horse would be of great help, so you could come down more often to the village. Just as an example, and then you select a horse and you create a match for him, you breed it, it's very cute. And then, I remember when he was born, little thing, all black, shaky legs, I knew right away he was for you. He's not much for words either, you two will get along. Isn't he too tall for me? Well, I guess I'll give him a short one. It's too adventurous for me. It's cute. That is sort of the idea, and I absolutely adore it. I don't know how precisely all of that is going to get worked in, but that is very cute. It has encounter imaginary creatures inspired by local French fauna and capture them in pictures. And horse collection, of course, you got a lot of horses to collect, and then ride your main mount while leading a second horse to carry belongings or deliver them to the new home. Now that is, I'm not going to go into everything, but that is sort of the idea of the game. You are trying to pair people up with horses, and then there is a linear story that you are sort of, growing into. Now, unfortunately, the game did not get to its expected, it didn't, reach its goal. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen next for it. I do want it to succeed because I think it's a very unique and very interesting game. I don't think it had enough attention on it. I'm very sorry that I didn't put more attention on it because I was so neck deep in the TTR drama, and I'm sort of disappointed in myself for not chatting about this more because a lot of people did contact me about it and I just didn't get to it, unfortunately. But hopefully they do find a way to fund themselves and they get to realize this game, because I think that there is a good idea here. And it is clearly someone with a vision, and there is clearly some really interesting ideas that can be explored here. But let us hope that they do find a way, maybe they do get some funding from somewhere, because it does sound like a really cool game. Oh, Horses of Gavarnia is also on Steam, so you can go and wishlist that as well if you haven't already, because yeah, look at this. How can we not love this? How can we not love this? And good golly, how can you not love this? Well, not that, this. So, Horses of Hoofprint Bay is a little game that was recently given a demo. It has been very popular amongst a lot of players, kicking into that nostalgia, and players are just really enjoying it. But firstly, it does say we have a release for the timeline, and we're just going to scroll down to that, because that's really the only reason we're here. And the timeline date release is somewhere here. I have it. I had it. Where is it? I should mark it. I did mark it, and then on my... Oh, there we go. our planned release window is end of 2026. So cool. End of the year, we'll have Hoofprint Bay. Long way away, but I prefer them taking a while before we get to the game, because then we have a good game. So their to-do list includes a lot of iteration and things that are fundamentally there, as well as a few entirely new features. We don't want to publish our complete planned feature list yet, because we might have to cut things if they don't work out as we expect. Yes, very good. Yes, I'm sick and tired of seeing roadmaps everywhere. Thank you. Shut up and make your game. I know that sounds awful, but just shut up and make your game. They say we'd rather promise less and deliver more than the other way around. Yes! So, they're going to have a big balancing overhaul to adjust the overall progression speed through breeding and training, finishing all the yard updates, stable in various stages, adding new backgrounds for different buildings per each upgrade stage, breeding station, and designing and implementing new forest trail rides. We also want to start experimenting with a few completely new features that have been suggested or that we really want to do ourselves, but we'll talk more about that when we're further along in the process. Save game compatibility. Due to the aforementioned plans of overhauling the game's balancing quite fundamentally, as well as other structural changes that are planned, we can now also say that demo save games will not be compatible with the main game once it releases. Thank you all for understanding. Now, they do say that for the foreseeable future, our demo will still be available, but we don't plan on adding any more content to it at this time. The day limit will also stay. The demo has done its job for giving you all a taste of what to expect from the game incredibly well, and we'll now focus on getting the rest of the game to live up to that. That is awesome. Well done to you guys. I'm so glad the game was a huge success. I'm really looking forward to the full release. I'm very glad it's a long way away. Gives me time to catch up with all the other 7,000 horse games I haven't been playing, which I promised I would play, and everyone is asking me to play. But yeah, that is going to be the last story for today. Yeah, that is it for this iteration of What's Happening Horse Games. Were there any games that you would like me to cover? And are there any games that you're looking forward to? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you all so much for watching, for being amazing, and I'll see you next time.